Hi, this is Emma Burford from Business Rocks, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Wendy Tomlinson. Hello there, Wendy. Thank you for joining us. And if you're watching us live, we will open up a couple of seats shortly, and we'll be streaming for about an hour, and we're open to your questions. And if you want to jump in and join us, that'd be fantastic. This blab will be a weekly blab, but I'm actually going to be co-hosting with Wendy on the first Wednesday. So in fact, the next one with Wendy, I believe, is a couple of weeks' time, and we'll be blabbing together every first Wednesday of the month. And then the other Wednesdays, I'll be joined by other guest experts and people who want to talk about business and how we can grow our business. So I don't know about any of you, but last week was very busy, but this week seems to have got even busier. I don't know if you found the same, Wendy, but I think we're all sort of slowly moving into 2016, but it's actually taking off really quickly.
Yeah, I'm definitely packed up at the moment. Sorry, Emma, I've got a little bit of a delay going on. Not quite sure why. I'm just going to grab my headphones.
Okay, it sounds fine my end, actually. So sometimes the internet can do funny things with our connections, can't it? But hopefully, let us know if you can hear us both. I think everything's good to go today. I've had a number of blabs where my Apple iMacs picked a firewall issue, and then I've not been able to see people, so I've switched it off today, so hopefully that shouldn't cause any problems. But anyhow, I'm the founder and publisher of Business Rocks digital magazine for women in business, and I also have been running the Mums Business Directory for the last 5 years, and love to promote women in business and mums, of course. So, and I'll just let Wendy introduce herself, because she's got some great things to tell you. So over to you, Wendy, if you can hear us okay.
Yeah, I can hear you okay, Emma. That seemed to have sorted the problem out. So hi, everyone. I'm Wendy Tomlinson. I'm a qualified life coach, law of attraction practitioner, and EFT master practitioner. But what that basically means is I can help people to achieve the things that they want. And I focus on helping small business owners to achieve the business success that they want and create a business that they really love. So I do one-to-one coaching. I have various courses that I've created, and I'm also the author of 4 books now. And one of my massively big passions is my blog. I absolutely love blogging, and that is a big part of my business. So I post on there at least 3 times a week, just sharing different things that can help you in your business. And I'm also the host of a weekly morning business chat here on Blab. That's 10 a.m. UK time every Friday, if anyone wants to join me. So that's me.
Fantastic. Thank you, Wendy. And I was going to definitely plug your blab, because Wendy has a great morning biz chat going on, which is kind of like an informal chat with people who are online in the morning, and we're actually both in London. You can probably tell by our accents. So if you're calling in from the States or Australia, that's where we are. Well, I'm in London. Actually, Wendy's up north, aren't you, Wendy? Halfway.
No, Lincolnshire. It's north for you, Emma, but it's not north for the rest of the country.
It's in the middle. It's in the middle. Yeah, we'll be diplomatic. Okay. Thank you guys for popping on, Josh. And we've got Plague of Gentlemen's their first day on Blab. So hope you're enjoying this and you kick off some more blabs as well. So my BizRocks BizFix blab, as I said, every Wednesday, lunchtime, 1 p.m, which is this time at the moment. And really want to talk to you about different things about your business and find some ways of helping people fill those holes. So if you've got problems in your business and you need a solution, or you want to talk about it, then that's really what we're here for today, to kind of find out how we can help you. And if we can't help you, perhaps someone on the Blab can help you. So it's all about collaboration, really. So I know this week for me has been really busy. I touched on it at the beginning, Wendy, but I'm in the process of moving my email service providers. That's been going really well. And also in the UK, we have to finish our tax returns. I know Wendy's already done hers, but mine's finished. I've just got to upload it. So that was another goal. But also alongside all of that, you know, you run your business and you do all sorts of other things. And last night, I actually managed to somehow book myself in for 3 back-to-back webinars. And I have to say, I haven't done that for a long time, but I actually spent the first hour or so of my evening watching the lovely Mari Smith. And Mari Smith's the first Facebook expert, and I've been fortunate enough to take a lot of her courses and be in her membership site for a number of years. So I'd like to dig into that a little bit more on topic. And I don't know, perhaps you can tell us in the chat, have you been able to watch it, Wendy? Has anyone else watched the live stream last night?
I listened in this morning after I saw you'd mentioned it. It was just like it was running in the background, and I didn't sort of pick up that much. It's something I think that I need to sort of sit down and listen to without any distractions. You know, the one thing that really seems to be getting talked about a lot at the moment is the Facebook Live that is sort of like being rolled out to pretty much all. If I'm right in saying it's coming out to everyone who's got a public.
Yeah, basically.
No, I'm just trying to think. It
has to be verified, and it had been. If you had a verified profile, which means normally a big celebrity like Mari herself. But actually, I did hear this a couple of weeks ago, and it's now been sort of released that they are actually rolling it out to the US public, but it's only like 10% of the public can start using Facebook Live. So yeah, that's an absolutely great feature. I guess a bit like Blab, you know, people are having to get used to becoming more public, getting to see the people behind the business, and you know, being able to join in conversations. You know, Periscope, Meerkat, all sorts of applications now that are using live streaming. So it's a great way to do it. Some of the things that I looked at, I kind of made a few notes on what she was talking about. So I'll just quickly go through a few of those. And so if anyone else watched it, has any thoughts on any of them, do let us know. Basically video. So yeah, the first point she raised was video being native and how we all need to spend more time. And one of the interesting stats she quoted was that in 2013, there were 1 billion video views on Facebook. And now in 2015, there were 8 billion. So that's a huge growth. So I guess we've all seen video becoming more accessible and more visible in our news feeds, whether we like it or not. You know, they tend to start autoplaying. And I know I've found my mobile phone, I was going to say bandwidth, but it's not bandwidth. But yeah, my quota's being eaten up really quickly unless I'm on Wi-Fi. So you have to watch that one. But yeah, so Facebook Live you mentioned, as say that's a great feature, and I can't wait to be able to start using that, because I think you can just hop in a little bit like Periscope but have it straight in your stream. So I think I can see you using that, Wendy, as well, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to doing. One of the things that I've done in the past is because I have my YouTube channel, which is great, but obviously when I've created a YouTube video and then pop the link for that onto like my Facebook profile or my Facebook page, Facebook still class that as a link as opposed to a video. So if I create a video and then just upload that straight onto Facebook, it definitely gets me a lot more, you know, a lot more interaction, a lot more page likes and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to this coming out, you know, being streamed out. You know, I'm sort of like checking every day to see if I've got it yet. But yeah, it gets obsessive really. But no, I can see that it's going to be massive, because I'm really looking forward to it, and I will definitely be reporting what happens on the blog, because
Sure.
the thing is, when you're on Blab, I absolutely love Blab. You know that I love this. But when you're on here, you're asking people to leave Facebook to come on here. And, you know, with it being there on Facebook, you're asking them to come and join you straight on Facebook. And it's keeping that interaction on Facebook, it's obviously going to help boost your, you know, how many page views you're getting. You know, because as we all know, Facebook is getting harder and harder. You know, when I think back to like 2 years, maybe, most of my posts were getting pretty much the whole reach of the people who've liked my page. And that doesn't happen these days. And I think that's the case for everyone, really. You know, so I think that's definitely something that I'm looking out for. Emma, I just wanted to, Josh was asking if you've got any tips.
I was just going to mention that actually in a minute. And I've just popped the live Facebook Live page, the replay that Mari released last night that was live is still up on her page. So if anyone is watching and you think, what are these ladies talking about? Go and hop into Mari's page, because she's really got the full lowdown, but all very exciting stuff. And I'll run through a few more bits that features. But yeah, Josh, you mentioned something about being a waiter. That's probably not quite in my sort of field of expert. I'm not sure. How about working as a waiter in the UK? Can't really answer that one. I guess you have to just get in touch with all the local restaurants in London. That would be my first port of call. Perhaps they have a you know, a job role on their websites. But yeah, it's a big field, that one. So
yeah, I do know that there are some sort of like job sites that you can sign up to that are specifically for, you know, waiters from abroad coming into the UK. I wouldn't have a clue about any links to share with you. So it's just a case of go and Google it, you know, find the restaurants that you like and, you know, look for job boards in the UK.
But that does bring that question quite nicely onto the next thing that she shared, and that is improve Facebook search, because they're actually putting in a lot more features and they're making our profiles and pages searchable, which is something that will mean it's going to be easier to surface people, you know, looking for those kind of things. So, you know, definitely try Facebook search, and, you know, that's being rolled out. So that might help you. But really, Google's the one to go for full search now. But Facebook are definitely catching up. So yeah, absolutely. Okay. So yeah, the other thing she mentioned was mobile, which for me, having a digital app, something that I've been kind of really keen on for 3 years now. I've had the magazine for 2.5 years, and you know, the applications and the mobile facilities now becoming better and better. Obviously, you know, some of the stats are that in Q3, which is the quarter of 2015, 78% of Facebook ad revenue was on mobile. And the other stat she mentioned, which I thought was really interesting, is 47% of us never use Facebook on the desktop. Now, I guess it depends what you do. I use both. I have my desktop here, which I'm using for Blab at the moment, but I also have my phone here, so I'm kind of on both. So yeah, it's quite interesting stats that are becoming more and more mobile friendly and used to using that. So that's a good one. Instant articles was another feature she mentioned, Wendy. Now that I thought was pretty cool, because she mentioned notes and things as well. Had you come across that? Did you take that bit in? We might not have got to the end of the video, but basically they're looking at integrating instant articles, but they're also looking at being able to add notes like a blog post. And I thought of you because I know you're a prolific blogger. So that's another platform, a bit like Blog Loving, but within Facebook, you can actually share your posts into the notes and make that like a blog post.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I've been using notes for, you know, a good few years now. Well, for as long as I've been around. And I just used it to sort of like say, you know, oh, I've got this course, and it would stay in that side panel there for people to sort of see if they came onto my site. So, you know, I've been using it in that context, but it's funny actually, I've just recently, literally over the last few weeks, I've seen a lot of people using that to do more of like a blog post in it, and I think it's a really interesting way to go. It's not something that I've done yet because you know, as I say, I am putting a lot of content on the blog, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to take the content from the blog and put that into like the notes. I would want to sort of like do something completely different. But it's,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes, you know, when you ask a question or, you know, you've seen something, I think it's a good fit for those things that you want to talk about, that they're not necessarily a great big long post. I mean, with blogging, I'm definitely finding really 300 words minimum for a blog post. Ideally, it wants to be sort of 500 words or more for it to get, you know, good interaction. So for the topics that you want to cover that are maybe sort of like 100 words, 200 words that aren't quite a blog post, I think this is a really good thing to use. Yeah, definitely. And not, from my experience, from the people that I'm sort of like interacting with on Facebook, there's not many people using it in that way at the moment. So it's probably a good time to sort of jump in there and start using that.
And I'm definitely one of them, because I looked on one of my pages and I realised that I hadn't had a note on it since 2013. And in fact, what's interesting is if you go to your settings, you can obviously check notes on and off. And for some reason that had been turned off of that page. Now, I don't know why, but you kind of, there's so many things going on in your business life. You don't always remember everything, and you kind of start something, you don't carry on. So it's interesting about you saying about having a snippet or a, you know, part of your blog, because there's no real fast rules yet as to whether if you're publishing a blog post in Notes or on Facebook, you know, that doesn't have any implications as far as Google search. But certainly for my business, with new Apple search and the news channel, you know, there's more and more overlap. And, you know, we're having to become more aware of what could cause problems down the line. So it's an interesting one. I like that. I think repurposing our content, if you've got a really big, long blog post, just taking a part of it and getting people engaging in that side of it. And then obviously you can link them back to the main post on your website, Wendy, which is really ideally what we want, is a great idea. So I think I'll have to have a look at doing that from now on.
But
I think add to the list.
I think also, though, I think with the notes, I think it's quite nice not to have a link in it at all, for it to just be information that you're sharing with just your Facebook group. Because, you know, everybody, yes, it's definitely great to get people back to your blog, and that's ultimately what you want people to do. But if you've got that sort of mix in there, that's going to happen anyway. But I also think it's quite nice now and again just to have something there that's really good, valuable information that actually doesn't link anywhere else. It's just, so it's almost saying like, I really value you.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who liked my Facebook page, and here's some information, it's just for you. I don't need you to go anywhere else. I don't need you to click a link. Yeah. You know, it's just information for you.
I guess, can you use that, I guess, in a group you've got your notes? I mean, more on a page where you're more public. So, yeah, I guess it's trial and error. You could test both.
Yeah, definitely.
Some longer ones, attributing your website link. And, you know, it's early days, but that's something that's Mari highlighted, and it is definitely something that I'd kind of forgotten about. So I'm going to be doing a bit more of that. Yeah. But, yeah, publishing on Facebook, that's ultimately what they're looking for. You know, there are a lot of features coming down that are going to be making it much easier for anybody, not just a developer, to be able to publish their articles. The link, actually, I'll just pop it in the comments if anyone wants to have a look at, see if I can do that straight from my note, is instantarticles.facebook.com. So if you want to have a look at that and you're wondering what instant articles are all about, then go and have a look at that one. Facebook groups, now that's a really good one as well, because the stats again here, they're saying that they're the least talked about feature on Facebook, but you know, basically they are huge, and we all know we all belong to hundreds. Well, I dread to think how many I actually belong to. I've got the maximum amount of favourites in my ticker newsfeeds, you know, my sidebar. But yeah, we all belong to most probably a lot of Facebook groups, and they can be really useful for our business. So I think the emphasis on some of those is changing. And I know last year they rolled out these for sale groups. Have to say I'm not a member. I probably have been added to a few that I haven't looked at, but I don't know if you use for sale groups or if anyone watching uses for sale groups, but Facebook are definitely putting more emphasis on those, that people can actually go in and buy and sell. I think they've realised that there's a big market for promotion of products and services and, you know, all those kind of things, but definitely physical products, the groups are starting to kind of take off. Have you used them at all, Wendy, or are you?
Yeah, I mean, I've always preferred the groups, actually. I think there's a lot more interaction in the groups. I've got various groups. I've got far too much going on Facebook. It's ridiculous. But I've actually just sort of like been messing around with it, because I used to have a really small group that was just for local clients. And I never had that many local clients, because obviously I work with people all around the country, all around the world. So I found it wasn't really it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, because they could get the same information on my Facebook page. So when I started the morning business chats on Blab, I wanted to tie in the Facebook group with that, which meant a whole load of work, where I ended up sort of like moving people from one group to another. So I now have the morning business chat Facebook group. And the interesting thing is, I've got sort of like 500 or so, I think, on my Facebook page. And I've got something like, I think it's around the 60 people mark on my Facebook group. And you sort of think, oh gosh, you know, that's really small numbers when you look at the size of some of the groups out there. You know, they've got thousands, but you know, it's a new group. So what I found though is the interaction on the group is far more than the interaction that I get on the page. I think the groups are so much more interactive on Facebook.
Well, you know, there's that saying of having 1,000 true fans, and it's true, because, you know, you can have thousands on your mailing list. I know I have, but it's the people that actually really open them. And, you know, obviously that's email marketing is a huge one for another time, perhaps with our lovely Kate Barrett. But basically, you know, you can have a huge page, but you're not getting the engagement, the reaction, whereas you can have quality people that really like your stuff and, you know, join your group. And that's really what we're all aiming for, people that really want to hear and see us a bit more. So, yeah, that's a great point. I'm just going to touch on one of the other parts which was mentioned, and that was, we were talking about the sales groups, but the other thing that caught my eye, because I've had a directory for mums in business for the last 5 years, and basically they're now rolling out, I had heard of it, but obviously Mari went a bit in depth on it, and there are now services. I'm going to put a link in the comments chat so everyone can have a look at that, scoop it up. And also places. So they're actually definitely targeting local businesses. So if you're a local business and you haven't added yourself to their services or places directories, definitely one to go for, because that's an emphasis that they're obviously pushing. And, you know, they're going to be pulling in all their information, all their content, and being able to share that. And it's very empty at the moment, so it's pretty new. So if you haven't seen it, go and have a look. But you can basically drill down, search for whichever business you're looking for in your local town, or, you know, your country, or, you know, so that's something that's being offered for free at the moment, so you can just go and add your business on there. So I like the look of that. So yeah, that's cool. And then lastly, they were talking about Messenger, and I know this came up for me in another group, Facebook Messenger, because it's now being rolled out. It has been rolled out on my pages this week. So if anyone's watching, then you can basically have a look and see if you've got the Messenger on your pages. And it's kind of like a CRM system. It's pretty cool. And they've basically got it so you can actually interact with your messages and store them. So it looks like an email dashboard. So yet another place for us to go and check every day. Not that we don't, of course, but what Mari shared last night is you can actually you can put a time scale on it. So whereas, if you didn't respond within 5 minutes, as if we're not all on our phone permanently, which is probably the case for most of us mobile users, but you can actually reply and put a time limit. So you might be replying within an hour or a few hours or within the day. So that kind of takes the pressure off those negative kind of looking response times. So I don't know if anyone's tried it yet, but that's a great system. I think that's obviously, they're going to be using this data to help with their ads and, all the targeting. So it all kind of is being more fine-tuned on the platform, which is great. Has anyone on here? Sorry, Wendy. Yeah.
Sorry, Emma. There's just been a question. I can't actually see the name of the person who asked it now. It's gone up.
Yeah.
And the question is basically, they've got a new Facebook page and they feel like the content that they're putting on the Facebook page is the same as they're sending out to their email list. So is it okay if I go ahead and give my thoughts on that, Emma?
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's what I'd say. Your email list is definitely massively important because, if people opt into your email list, then they are really, really interested in you. But the two things should work very differently. So your Facebook page, I would recommend on your Facebook page that you're posting on your Facebook page at least once a day. I mean, I usually post 2 to 3 times on my Facebook page, but that will depend on what you're doing. Your email list, I would say, really, me personally, I wouldn't be sending an email out to my list more than once a week. Occasionally you'll have sort of special offers that come up and you'll want to add those. But as a standard email list, you're not going to be posting on your email list. You're not going to be sending out your emails at the same rate as you should be posting on Facebook. I just think you signed in as your daughter's account, and Laura signed in as her husband's account, so that's fine. But yeah, it's different because the rate that you're posting or that you're giving out that content should be different. Nobody wants to be receiving emails. If I'm on someone's list and they're sending me emails, so like two times a day, I would unsubscribe to it without a shadow of a doubt. And certainly, really, if they were sending me emails more than 2 times a week, depending on what that content was, I would also unsubscribe. Your email lists are not something for high frequency, whereas your Facebook page, that wants to be something that is active. I would say at least 1 post a day on your Facebook page. So I hope that's answered your question there. I don't know if Emma's got any more to add to that.
Yeah, I had to jump back out and jump back in for a minute. I lost my connection, but hopefully you can hear me again now. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they do say the more you can post on Facebook, but it does seem like, you're posting and unless you're running the ads, you're not getting the engagement. You kind of get a bit disappointed with it. So I think, it's definitely worth, if you have the time to post, definitely once a day. Your email list for me is more about value content. So what I post on my pages is not anything like what I would necessarily post in my emails. Very rarely do I go over them. I mean, it's different with a blog post. If you've written some really nice content, then depending on your email provider, you can definitely link that up and perhaps have your RSS feed going through your email provider and actually share your blog posts, or at least, like we touched on earlier, a snippet of them to kind of whet people's appetite and they go back in and have a look. So but for Facebook, it's really more about trying to get some engagement, and it depends what kind of business you've got, because for me it's also about promoting other people. So my posts are quite promoty, they're like, have a look at this because this person's got a great webinar on X. So it really depends on your business type as well. So, but yeah, I mean, it's better to post if you're really struggling for time and you've got new business and you don't have a lot of time to create new content. It's still worth putting both things on both, basically repurpose that content, get it out on your mailing list as well, rather than not be seen at all. So, it's just a balance, and it will come as your business grows and you have more time to actually either get someone involved to take it on for you and do your content, or you get more balance and you can juggle what you're doing. So, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And one other thing, Sorry, one of the things. We've got a little bit of echo going on again. One other thing that I would say is, as well as showing your own things on Facebook, find other people's content that you can share as well. So for me, if I find an article that's really interesting that someone else has written, a blog post or a video, I'll share that on my Facebook page, because I put out a lot of content of my own, but I couldn't put 2 or 3 posts on Facebook every day of my own content. So use other people's content, because if you're sharing other people's content, then they're more likely to share yours as well to their audience. So that's a good little tip there as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with that as well, because, it's all about collaborating and sharing each other and supporting each other. So that's why we're all here, I'm sure. So that's a kind of roundup of Mari's 7 Facebook trends for this year. I think there's some really exciting things coming down the pipe for us all. And I'd love to hear if anyone's got any thoughts on those, or if anyone wants to come and join us inside the Blab and talk about any other topic, whether it be business marketing or social media, then let us know, and we'll open up. In fact, the seat is open because I had to hop it back in before it shut me out. So let us know if you want to come in and join us. We're going to be here for another half an hour, and if you're enjoying what we're sharing, I'd love it if you could tell a little bird, which is a little tweet button on that side, I think. Could be wrong. And share it to your, you can never tell, whichever side, okay? I'll cover both angles, and tell your Twitter audience. And so this is going to be a weekly Blab, a biz fix. So if you've got a problem with your business or you want to talk about a business topic, I'll be here every Wednesday, and once a month with Wendy on the first Wednesday of the month. It's a bit of a tongue twister, that one, isn't it? Wendy will be joining me and co-hosting. So let us know if you'd like to join us. And the other thing I was going to say is Instagram ads. I haven't done it yet. Has anyone actually put an Instagram ad through for their business? I can see Wendy shaking her head.
No. Oh, sorry. I've got a bad echo at the moment.
Okay. Has anyone? Do I sound like I've got an echo at the moment? I sound okay to me, but you never know, do you? So, okay. A Wanry course. And Gavin Rookyard saying they haven't done Instagram either. I guess, for me, again, touching on the fact that my app's mobile, I think I really should. I'm definitely going to plan to give that a go in February and test a few, because, a lot of people on Instagram have their mobile devices, they're on it all the time. So I think that could work quite well. But I'm curious, because I've run quite a few Facebook ads, so I should really test that and see what happens. So a few more people joining us. So we'll be here for about another half an hour. So would anyone like to come in and join myself and Wendy and get into the Blab? You don't have to be shy. You don't have to be camera ready. I think I've got my lipstick on, but that's about it. We'd love to have you join us. But if you feel like doing that, let us know. So Wendy, one recourse. Yay, let's have, I'll empty. Let's see, token. That's it. Hi. Okay. Have we? Hi there, One Recourse. What's your name, please? Hi there.
Do I have an echo?
No, you sound fine.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. What's your name?
I think I sorted my echo out.
My name is Dennis.
Dennis. Hi there, Dennis.
Hi,
nice
Dennis.
to speak to you.
It's Emma and Wendy.
Yeah, that's
hi.
right.
Hi, ladies. And everybody else watching, I guess.
Yeah. Where are you calling in from, Dennis? Are you in the States or?
Long Island, New York.
New York. Okay. So you're kind of pretty early riser there then. So it's about 7:30 or 8:30 probably in the morning.
Yeah. I'm an early bird.
Oh, cool. Tell us about your business. What do you do, Dennis?
So what I do is I have a business that I work with small businesses and marketers, and we kind of connect the gap, bridging the two together, because there's so many small business owners and there's so many marketers. But when you really try to get the two together, you kind of it's not that much of an easy mix. So unless you're in the top of Google as a marketer, it's really hard for you to get your profession out there. And if you don't have time as a business owner to search through all those pages, you kind of only get the first 5. So we just really bridge that gap.
Fantastic. So you do a lot of local marketing. So you managing social media for them, or is it more website related, or a bit of both?
A bit of both. Definitely a bit of both with the SEO for the websites, and then the interaction when it comes to social media, engaging people. Definitely take care of that as well.
Fantastic. Oh, that's great. Well, it's great to have New York in the house, isn't it, Wendy? And someone else was saying they're in New York too, which is Jackie. And
Jackie. Who's this?
Must be New York, Lincolnshire, I think, Jackie. I think that's what she's.
Yeah.
Ladies, I missed some of the show, but what is it that your businesses that you happen to run or do?
Okay. Well, for myself, I've got a digital magazine. So it's an iTunes Android Business Rocks. And I've also got a directory for Mums in Business, which I've had for about 5 years, which is an online directory. So some of the topics that you may or may not have called about earlier, I was going through Mari Smith's live broadcast that she shared with everyone last night. And if you didn't catch it, I've put a link somewhere in the chat. Definitely go and have a look, because there's some great things coming through Facebook for local marketing. So there's a lot of local features that they've been rolling out. So some good stuff for you to hopefully promote your local people even better.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'll let Wendy tell you briefly what she does.
Okay.
Sorry, I just muted myself there for a second. I am. I'm a business coach, but I am massively passionate about my blog and connecting businesses. I share loads and loads of business tips on my blog. I host a morning business chat show here on Blab every Friday morning. It's 10 a.m. UK time. So I'm not quite sure what time that would be for you. But everything that I do really is to help people in business, small businesses, generally people who are, maybe self-employed, running their business from home, getting a little bit of outside help, that sort of thing.
Wow, that's pretty cool, ladies. Kudos to you guys. It's really awesome. I work with a lot of, similar individuals such as yourself. And again, the good thing about business and marketing is that the knowledge that both of you ladies possess is extremely valuable to some of the clientele that I actually work with, whether you're, overseas or you're local in the States. I definitely think that value is, it's amazing. And, that's what we really kind of do. We really just bridge that gap and connected the two to each other, because other than me meeting you now and having the opportunity to speak with you both, I would have never known of the things that you do, and that's only just kind of bridging the surface of not really getting into it. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I agree, Dennis. There's so many fantastic people that really know their thing, and I think really helped connect us all and be able to share some great tips and information that otherwise perhaps just doesn't get surfaced, or it's not not easily found. But yeah, that's fantastic. So what are you working on today with your business, Dennis? Have you you've obviously got up early and joined us?
Yes. Today I was working on a little Blab show. I'm fairly new to Blab, but it's called Let's Be Honest. And it's the premise is the good, the bad, the ugly of entrepreneurship and marketing. So, just being in the industry for a while, there's a lot of good, and, we see a lot of that. There is a lot of bad. We don't hear about that as much. And in the ugly, we really kind of just push to the side. So the premise of the show is really just bringing a light to all of that. When entrepreneurs, not everybody is good at it. And, when it comes to some marketers, not everybody is great at it. And sometimes when you have those two combinations, it gets really ugly. And it's just really kind of talking about those experiences that people can kind of learn from, what to look out for, and what actually works is the premise of the show. So that's why I was up early today.
Okay. Well, do share your link to your show in the chat if you've got one up there. But if not, follow Dennis, because that sounds really interesting. I like the sound of the ugly. I'm gonna try and hook into that one. When are you running your show? Is it you got a set time, or are you just playing it by
I haven't had a set time as of yet. Again, it's just something fairly new because I'm new to this whole platform. But I definitely will start to schedule it as well. I'm not even sure if I know how to find the link on this, but I'm going to text it in here. And I'll hope for the best.
Hopefully, I'll see it. So yeah, I'll check out your next one. I should be online. Cool. Okay, so we're going to go on for another 20 minutes or so. If anyone else wants to hop in, we've got a spare seat. It'd be lovely to fill up our blab today. So don't be shy. If you want to come and join us and talk about your business or talk about a business topic, we didn't have any fixed agenda today, apart from I was running through Mari's 7 Facebook trends. And, you know, I touched on that earlier, but I think the Facebook Live streaming is going to be really interesting, because I think what we'll be able to do is actually say, right, we're going to go on Blab and my shows today, and get direct people back over to Blab. So, you know, obviously having the live stream within Facebook sounds really exciting. So I hope I get it soon. But being that I'm not in the US, it probably means we'll be waiting a little bit longer, doesn't it, Wendy?
I will keep you posted.
Yeah, I think my account, actually, I've always had it hooked up to US, so I may get it earlier. But depends how they pick up on it, whether they pick it up on that or where we actually live. I don't know. We'll see. But
I know that they are definitely starting to roll it out already, so hopefully it won't be too long.
Yeah, absolutely. So have you got any topics?
What did you think about Twitter changing their text count? Have you ladies heard about that? Any thoughts on it?
Yes, I actually quite like the idea of it, because I think you've got that in the direct messages already. Obviously, they want to be able to compete with the other platforms. So it hasn't rolled out yet, though. So obviously, until it rolls out, we're not going to be able to see how that will affect us. And I tend to use Hootsuite for all my marketing of my businesses. And so I'm not sure, you know, obviously that will be integrated. Yeah, I quite like it, because I think there are times when maybe you just want to be able to talk a bit more, but I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a different type of engagement on Twitter, isn't it? It's fast, you know, you've got conversations going. So how do you feel about it, Dennis?
Honestly, I don't know if I necessarily like it. The reason why, because I feel a little different about it, is because that was what I was accustomed to. And that's what I thought made Twitter a little bit different, and I could just kind of be either great at getting my point across in those little characters, or I can miss the boat. But at least I know that the next thread was going to be a second later. So, but I'm interested to see how it's all going to roll out at the end of the day. It may turn out to be really amazing, or it could just turn out to be, I guess, similar to all of the other sites. But interesting to see how it's going to turn out.
It could turn out to be ugly, couldn't it? It could be the ugly of Twitter.
Yes, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It could turn out to be, you know, ugly. Yeah. Yes.
The ugly duckling. I think they will only show the first 140 characters, so that's what we have to wait and see how that pans out. Whether we'll be able to read it all on Hootsuite, or is it how you actually click and open the rest of it if people have written a whole long story. So yeah, so there's lots of changes. And I also heard Periscope has quite a few updates coming down the line. I've not been scoping. I know some of you watching probably do both. It's just another thing for me. I didn't have a problem being on camera kind of scoping. I watched quite a few, but I just felt it was all a bit self-orientated. I didn't want to be flipping, looking at my screen. So I'm kind of concentrating on Blab at the moment, but definitely some new things coming for Periscope, I've heard as well. So maybe next week we'll have found out a little bit more about that. So yeah, we'll see.
That should be interesting. My first introduction was Periscope was during the holiday seasons, walking through the mall. You know, just kind of doing like a little shopping thing. You know, just kind of totally thrown off guard by people actually watching and you know, commenting as I'm going through the store. You know, no real marketing aspect of it, but I just thought it was really interesting. But I do prefer the platform of Blab a little bit better. It helps me stay a little focused. And, you know, Periscope was a little too much. I was just very flustered after a while. I was like, whoa. So. Absolutely.
I think, you know, it's more snippets of about you, finding out, you know, kind of digging deep into what you're about, I guess, with Periscope. And whereas here, obviously, you'll sit and chat and have conversation, talk about specific topics. And I think people are probably a little bit less self-conscious being able to sit and talk like this than if they were just being me on the camera and look at me, kind of, depends on your character, and it also depends on the type of business you have, doesn't it? So if I meet my back-end business, my back-end lifestyle, you think, like you say, you think that's boring, I'm taking the kids to football, or, it would be really boring. But I guess some people just like to see behind the scenes, don't they?
Yeah.
So,
very true.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone else like to join us?
Jackie's saying that she likes it 140 characters on Twitter, and I tend to agree with Jackie as well. I like the 140 characters. I think it forces you to focus on the important stuff that you want to say. The only thing that I would say is when you're having a conversation with someone on Twitter, for example, if they ask you a question, it's very, very hard sometimes to get your answer within 140 characters, and so I think from that point of view, it will work better, if you've got a little bit more space. But if you're saying, Emma, that it's still going to just show the first 140 characters, that's quite good.
I had heard it was still going to show that, but as I say, obviously it's not been rolled out, and it's personal choice, isn't it? There are times like you want to say more to someone, or it may even be a direct message. I mean, that changed, and now I find that so much better because you can actually put a big long conversation in there, whereas if it's just a mention or a tweet, then you can't. So I think just having the flexibility to be able to do both. And I think if people don't get their message across succinctly, i.e. this is what I'm saying, look at this, then it would get a bit, people they haven't got the time. It's all about speed of deliverability, isn't it? So they need to be able to read it quickly and take an action if it's of interest. So, but there are times when you just want to put more. So, okay, so that's kind of a bit more like a chat, isn't it? Like I might be chatting to Jackie social media links and be saying, blah, 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 blah. But, not everyone's going to be interested in that. So hopefully if it's just the beginning, then not everyone will be going through your feed looking at all these conversations. So I don't know. We'll have to see. It'll be interesting. Yeah.
It definitely will be interesting to see that roll out.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so we've got about 10-15 minutes left actually, but I'm going to really be quite strict with my hour, because I know with Blabs, we can be really it can go on, and in fact even after an hour and a half or 2 hours we want to just stay on it. But every Wednesday 1 o'clock London time, we're going to have that hour, and there will be some topics brought up, and I will be having some guest experts. So if you're watching or you've just jumped in now, please do tell a little bird. Going to do this till I work it out. And we'd love you to come back and join us next Wednesday. I'll be here with another guest. In fact, Wendy will be joining me every first Wednesday of the month, because having sat a few Blabs, I had a chat with Wendy. I know her very well, and I know she has her morning biz chat. And I was saying, look, it's sometimes quite hard because you want to be able to talk with other people, but you need someone on the back end of it. So we're kind of collaborating on that every month for each other, which I think could work quite well. So obviously that might be something you want to think about, Dennis, because sometimes I start a Blab, particularly in the UK, because we're ahead of you, and not all the Americans who generally are, more dominant market at the moment on Blab. So, and then we're kind of so many people online, so it's nice to have someone else with you in the seat, and obviously you can get that conversation going. So cool. Any more questions from anyone? I know it's lunchtime. If you're in the UK, probably having your lunch and a cup of coffee, but if you're in America, you're probably listening or watching and running to work. So but if you've got any specific questions on any topic, business or social media related, I'd love to find out what they are, and talk to you some more. So Wendy, we'll touch on this week business things that you're working on. I know you've recently changed over your website. Well, I presume you've just redirected it all onto the new one. So tell us how that went. Was it a smooth process?
It was. I was absolutely amazed at how easy it was. I literally, this is what I do with my weekend mornings. I laid in bed on my computer, on Sunday morning and thought, right, I'm going for this, because I just felt that I didn't want the website to be Wendy Tomlinson Coaching, because whilst I absolutely love my one-to-one coaching, there's so much more that I wanted to do. And, you know, I want to be known equally as being, you know, a business blogger as much as I want to be known for being a coach. You know, so I just felt it didn't sit well with me, the name. But obviously I had a massive amount of content already on there as wendytomlinsoncoaching.com. And I wanted to change the name to Morning Business Chat. And everyone was saying, you know, this is going to be so hard. You're not going to be able to do it. You know, you'll lose all your content. And so I got on with, I used GoDaddy, and I got on, you know, the chat with them, and they just taught me through what I needed to do. And it was so easy. I literally bought the domain name. I forwarded the new domain name to my original site. And then I swapped which of the names I wanted to be the primary name. So basically, if anyone, so like if I write a blog post and it's, my free offer for my workbook. So if someone typed in wendytomlinsoncoaching.com free workbook, they would go to the right page. But by the same token, if they typed in morningbusinesschat.com free workbook, they would go to exactly the same page. So I haven't lost any of my pages, and it was just so easy to do. But I feel the new name is much more of a match for what, you know, where I'm going with the business and what I'm doing, you know, certainly over the last like 12 months or so. So yeah, super easy.
Brilliant. I mean, branding is the thing, isn't it? I get asked that a lot by other women in business and, you know, generally women. You know, do I go with my name? Do I go with a brand? Do I go with something that's keyword related? Do I go with, you know, something that just is like random? What are your thoughts on that, Dennis, being that you work in local businesses? Are they generally Blogs Cafe, or do you have sort of more, you know?
Branding, you know, for me, it's done, what can I say? I kind of like to create a name that is relative to the industry or business that I'm going with. You know, if I plan on being able to step away from the business and not have so much of my personal persona be there. So, you know, depending on the person, I don't always tend to name a business, you know, after myself, because, you know, I'm not perfect and I'm going to make I might do a little crazy things. So I tend to create a name that can stand on its own and brand that. So therefore it can evolve long after, you know, after me. So that's my kind of approach on branding when it comes to things of that nature.
Longevity of the brand, rather than let's say you and not having your name on it. Yeah, it's a really good, you know, it's a good topic because it's quite a difficult one sometimes for people to decide which to do.
Yeah. It's very important, but it is very important. They both have their benefits and, you know, both have their bad parts about it.
Yes, and I noticed, I mean, obviously, as far as rankings and things, I guess you've got to work your way up the ranks with your new website, Wendy, and get that sort of recognising all your posts. I don't know if that was something you...
Yeah, I haven't noticed any difference with regards to the search engine traffic that's coming to my website. It's certainly page views. I mean, thankfully, my page views are going up consistently, and it certainly hasn't affected that in any way, shape or form. But, you know, one of the things that I'm really focusing on right at the minute this year, at the end of last year, I noticed a big difference with Pinterest. I mean, I've been using Pinterest for a long time, and I think that started to pay off at the end of last year for me. So I'm definitely focusing on Pinterest a lot. And one of my concerns with doing this with the blog and changing the name was that the Pinterest traffic would drop. But because obviously, you know, with what I said about whether they're searching wendytomlinsoncoaching.com or whether they're searching for, you know, Morning Business Chat, it still goes to the same place. So all of my old pins are still, you know, driving traffic to the website, even though the name's changed. The only downside is I use a plugin called Sumo Me, and I absolutely love it. It's great, and it just, one of the things it does is has the social share buttons down the side of my site, and it does loads of other things as well, but that's one of the things. And of course, like some of my blog posts had like hundreds and, you know, really high sort of like shares sort of thing, you know, on each channel sort of thing, and now it's gone back to 0, and I'm like, no. You know, I used to go and think, oh, look at all those people that have shared this blog post, and I used to be so excited, you know, you can see them, you know, the figures rising, and then it's just gone back to 0 now.
Twitter took that away, you know, you no longer get the Twitter shares, the tweets. I really miss that feature because I think I had a lot more tweets than any other platform. So I really miss the fact that that's come off most of the plugins. So I think it's funny enough, I did see it on somebody's, but generally every other plugin that you look at now on their website has just got no tweet numbers. No. So that's a shame, isn't it? I miss that. It's just, you just feel good when you know people are sharing it. Yeah. Gives you a bit, doesn't it? Yeah.
Like there was some value with that. They shared it.
Yeah, and especially we're all so busy, you know, we don't have time. So if someone's actually gone to the effort of sharing it, that's, you know, that means something. They might not have time to put a comment on your blog or whatever you're saying, but at least they've shared it. So that's good. I always try and do that too. Some people are saying they also love Pinterest. K.A. Styles New York, I believe, well, NY, is that New York? Just having a look to see if I can find a name.
Yeah, that's New York, if not mistaken.
Kelly. Kelly is probably in New York. Do you know her, Dennis? Then you're local to each other.
No, I do not know her. What part of New York are you from, K.A. Styles?
I'm guessing it's NY for New York. Yeah, so yeah, if you're into Pinterest, a few people have said that they're into it. So John's saying he likes or loves Pinterest. So yeah, it's another great visual platform, isn't it, to be able to just enjoy just on a personal level as well, not just about business. You know, just go on there and have it's kind of if I'm feeling on a Sunday.
I know where she is located. We're not close, but you know.
There you go. Well, feel free to hop in, Kelly, if your camera ready or you want to hop in and have a chat before we close. We've got another 5 minutes, and we'll be here next Wednesday, 1 p.m. GMT, which I guess is coming up for 2 o'clock, is it now? No. 2 o'clock here, and you're coming up for 9 o'clock, are you, in New York now, Dennis? Is that?
Yeah, I'm in New York, but I'm in Long Island, so she's probably maybe 5 hours away from me. I'm about an hour, 45 minutes away from Manhattan, the city. So she's upstate. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll be back here next Wednesday, talking about all things business, social media, and BizRock's Blab. Which is fantastic. So yeah, we've got a few more minutes, and then I think me and Wendy are going to be hopping off and sticking to my 1 hour rule. I'm afraid I'm going to be really strict because I just sit here all day and chat, but I've got things to finish.
All right.
So, yeah, but no, it's been great you joining us, Dennis. I'm really
thank you, Emma and Wendy, for giving me the opportunity to join your chat. It was really fun. So as I continue this Blab experience, you guys have been very welcoming to me. And I'll share the website, and I think I shared my Blab chat. I would love to be able to possibly work with you ladies later, have you on my show. And, again, thanks so much, and I really enjoyed working with you guys.
And you, Dennis. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we're basically going to close off the Blab now, but if you'd like to find myself, you'll find me on businessrocks.co or mumsbusinessdirectory.com, and you'll find Wendy on the morningbusinesschat.com as well. And we'll be here. Well, I'll be here next week. Wendy and myself will be here on the first Wednesday in February. And we hope you've enjoyed our chat today, and do bring your questions to us next time. And we will catch up with you all again soon, won't we, Wendy?
We will. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask again. I'm reading the comments.
Thank you. That's Laura, isn't it? Thanks for that. basically you'll be able to catch up with Wendy and myself, I think, probably this Friday on her Morning Biz Chat. So you'll see us at the end of the week, which is 10 o'clock UK time. So probably not so good for your US listeners or watchers. But otherwise, we'll catch you next week. So see you all later. Keep warm and have a great week in business. Bye-bye.
Bye.